Page 33, Down by the Riverside. We'll talk about a few things here, but not too many. They're not introducing anything new really, except you have the dotted quarter note. We've already had augmentation dots. We've had a dotted half note, and the dot works the same way. Go back and watch that video that covers that page. I mean, if you're, again, struggling and you're lost, then go back and do the book again. But to explain it very briefly is the dotted quarter note gets 1.5 counts. So you've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you just, that measure, they're the next to the last measure, the first line. You have a rest on the first beat, and then a quarter note, and then that. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So the eighth note comes on the and of 4. It's 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. It's just a long short. There's a few others, but they all work the same way. So work out the dotted rhythm very carefully. They give you things in this book in a piece that you haven't had yet, and then they give you little notes at the bottom of the pages. Did you notice such and such? Well, we'll get to that later. You know, and I want to punch them in the nose. Don't give it to me if you're not going to explain me what's going on. I want to know what's going on in the music. Otherwise, I'm seeing things I don't understand. I don't like that. So that's about really all I need to point out here. I mean, watch the fingering carefully, because you're not in a simple 5-finger position. You can forget 5-finger positions now it just ain't going to happen very often. So watch their fingering and you'll be fine. The left hand, you just got your chords for the most part, with a few other notes put in there. That shouldn't be a problem, because we're back in our original C, F, G7, C. As long as you got those, fine. If you don't got those, go back to the videos and do them again until you get them. Now this has a 1-beat pickup. You see, the first measure is those 2/8 notes. 2/8 notes to a quarter note, but in 4/4 time, a quarter note gets a beat. So it's a 1-beat pickup. So they come in on 4 and. It's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, like so. So I'm going to give us 3 counts when we do this, and we're going to play it. At the bottom of the page, you see a repeat sign, and they didn't give you a reverse repeat sign because they want you to go back to the beginning. I'm surprised they didn't put a reverse repeat sign at the beginning. They've been doing that. But finally, they're getting around to the way it should be. Because if you're going to repeat to the beginning, you don't need a reverse repeat sign at the beginning. Watch the rests. The rests are important. So don't hold notes down longer than they're supposed to be held. We want to hear the silence. That's what I'm saying. I say play the rest, which means be quiet. There is one little thing I want to point out in the right hand in the third line I don't agree with, so let's check it out. In the second measure, you're playing these notes with a little finger. So in the third measure, you're playing those C's with the third finger. But then in the next measure, they want you to play the D with the third finger. That doesn't work, because it's not between a phrase. You need to connect those notes. You can't do it using the same finger. So, 2 different ways you can do it. It's up to you which. Try them both and see what you think. One way is in the third measure, the 2 C's, rather than playing them both with the third finger, play the last C with the second finger. So you do a 3-2 on the C's. And that way you're in position for the 3 here. Or, if you'd rather, go ahead and play the C's, the 2 C's with third finger, and play, in the next measure, play the first D. You got 2 D's. Play the first D with fourth finger, and then third finger. It's a little more awkward. There will be times in piano you're going to need to do it, so you might practice it. You can do either way you want to do. Either this way, or this way. Either way works. It's up to you which one you want to do. Now let's try this together. I'm going to give us 3 counts. I will play it. And your hands, this is where you have to look at the first few notes. You just can't look at the first note, because in the right hand, you're starting out with 5th finger on E. You're going to use the 4th finger on the D sharp. You'd think you're in this position, but you're not. Because look at the next measure, when you get down to the half note G, it's a thumb. So you're sort of in this position, but then you're going to change to this position, and you're going to go back and forth. So you just got to be a little flexible with where the hands are. You don't get anchored into one position and that's it, because we're getting away from that. So, right hand goes here. Left hand's here. I'll give us 3 counts. Let's play this together slowly so you can check your notes and your rhythms. 1, ready, and go, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Repeat.